Hi everyone, ya sabes que Carlos Sriracha to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're going to be making a delicious and easy shrimp and broccoli stir fry. This is so delicious, the whole family is going to love it. It tastes so much better than takeout. It takes 15 minutes to cook and another 15 minutes to prep everything. You just can't beat that. Dinner will be on the table from start to finish in 30 minutes. Let's get started. But before we do, I want to say hi to Miss Mona, who watches the show every day. Your daughter, who goes by Fuzz on YouTube, wrote in, and I just want to say hi and thank you for your support. Now let's start. So I like to buy the shrimp that's already peeled and deveined, and I like it when the tail is on. If you could find it, that's fine. It is labor intensive to clean the shrimp, so I like to buy it already cleaned. If you can get it that way, it makes life so easy. And another thing, you want to have everything ready to go. Prep everything, make the sauce, get the shrimp ready, get your pans out, make sure everything is ready to go so that way nothing burns, because everything cooks on high heat and it moves fairly quickly. Now let's really get started. Okay, so the recipe calls for a pound of shrimp, but the bag that I bought had 2 pounds, so I'm just gonna double it. You wanna pat the shrimp dry and then season them with a little bit of salt and black pepper. If your plate isn't big enough the way mine is, you can just toss them around and season lightly with a little bit more salt and some black pepper, and that's it. Before we move on with Asian dishes like this or stir fries, you want to make sure that everything is ready to go because the recipes move really quickly. So we're going to make the stir fry sauce. So this is the recipe for 1 pound of shrimp, right? But I'm just doubling it. So everything that I'm saying right now is just going to be for one recipe. You're just going to notice that I'm adding more. So 2 tablespoons of Sriracha, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, and even though I'm making a double batch, I still keep the sugar low because I don't like the sauce to be too sweet. So I just did 1 heaping teaspoon there. Half a teaspoon of ginger, and the same thing with ginger. Even though I double the recipe, I don't double the amount of the ginger. I just put half a teaspoon. A 1/4 cup of either light soy sauce, which I don't use soy products. Instead, I get coco aminos. It has the same flavor of soy sauce without the soy. A teaspoon of sesame oil for that flavor that Asian food usually has. And this is pure sesame oil, if you're wondering. 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, that's gonna help thicken the sauce. I'll do 1.5. 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and about 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. Just whisk it all up until it's smooth. Now, to eliminate those lumps that cornstarch tends to have, instead of putting it directly in the stir-fry sauce, you can separately mix it with about a tablespoon of cool water in another little container and then add the cornstarch to this. But as it sits, they should dilute. That's it. You can definitely double the sauce. The more sauce, the better, if you ask me. So next you want to prepare the broccoli by bringing a pot of water to a boil. I'm going to season the water with about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt. Just add the broccoli to the boiling water and just let it boil for 1 to 2 minutes. You don't want the broccoli to get mushy. Once it's done, just transfer it to a bowl. Try to get rid of as much water as you can. You could even just pour this into a big strainer. So for a pound of shrimp, you're going to need about a pound of broccoli florets. And I prefer the fresh broccoli over the frozen. It just stays much crisper. And now that everything is ready to go, we're just going to start cooking the shrimp. So I have a large skillet heating over medium-high heat. To it, go ahead and add a little bit, like 3 or 4 tablespoons or more of either olive oil or vegetable oil, and then brown the shrimp in a few batches just until they're pink. So about 2 minutes or so. You're just searing them, and then go ahead and transfer them to a plate. So next, since it looks like most of the oil is gone, I'm just going to add a little bit more to the pan, along with 3 or 4 garlic cloves. But remember, I did double the recipe, so there's much more in there. And some crushed red pepper flakes. You just want to toast it a little bit, and you could add as much or as little as you like. I love it when Asian-inspired recipes are a little bit on the spicier side. So I added more than a little pinch. And I turned the heat off from underneath the pan because the heat was really high. You don't want to burn the pepper or the garlic. Just warm it through until it's fragrant. Then go ahead and turn the heat back on. I would put it on like a medium high. Then I'm going to add the sauce. It's looking kind of thick. I'm gonna add a little bit more cocoa aminos. If you don't have cocoa aminos and you use soy sauce instead, that's fine. And just mix that up. You're gonna see that it's gonna thicken fairly quickly from the cornstarch. And if it thickens a little too much, you could just keep adding soy sauce. You could dilute it with a little bit of water if you don't wanna add too much soy sauce to it. Go ahead and get the shrimp back in there. See how fast this moves? And the broccoli. You don't even have to add all of the broccoli at once. And the broccoli is gonna leave some liquid anyway. Mix it all up and cook it until the sauce has thickened. Not longer than about 5 minutes, because you don't want the shrimp to be overcooked and you definitely don't want the broccoli to be mushy. And like I said, if you like more sauce than this, just double the recipe of the sauce. And that's it. In like 15 minutes, dinner should be on the table. Oh my God, this smells so delicious. It is time for the taste test. Wow. There are no words. This tastes so much better than any fast food place that I've ever tried. It's not overly sweet. You know how when you get Asian dishes, some of them are just so sweet, almost tastes like you're eating dessert. I like to put the minimum amount of sugar in this, and if you want to leave it out, you can even leave it out completely. There's so much flavor in this. The shrimp is perfectly cooked. It just takes a few minutes to cook shrimp. The broccoli is not mushy and it soaks up all of that good sauce. You can serve this topped over white rice or vegetable fried rice. I have a really easy and delicious Asian style vegetable fried rice dish. If you want me to share that with you next time, comment down below and let me know and I'll record it for you. But you can serve this over noodles, over rice, plain rice, vegetable rice, or just like this if you want to enjoy it as is. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. The exact measurements are on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us.